So as JND Studios made possibly one of the best Affleck statues and iterations and interpretations of Affleck ever, welcome to a brand new episode of Yeah or Nay. 3 videos in one day. Very busy day, but a very exciting day. So welcome back to the second episode of Yay or Nay today, guys. So the first episode, we did the life-size Michael Myers bust from PCS Studios, which was a massive yay just because of the accuracy and the artists involved, friends who helped bring this bust to life. Today, we are going to be looking at the 1/3 scale JND Affleck figure, as well as Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne figure. Now, it says Justice League, but it's clearly the Batman v Superman suit. And it's the look of Bruce Wayne from Justice League, even though the head sculpt looks a lot like how Affleck looked in BVS. Most notably, Superman's funeral at the end of BVS, when he says men are still good. So if you haven't watched the previous episode this morning, if you are new to the Yay or Nay series, we take a look at action figure statues, props, vehicles, stuff like that. Take a look at the sculpting, the wardrobe, tailoring, sculpting, paint apps, stuff like that. See if it's indeed worth a yay or a nay. Now, I believe at 2 o'clock this afternoon, Sydney time, I could be wrong, that these go up for pre-order, but you can see the price now. So there's a lot to unpack here. They've been teasing this for a good couple of days. So you can either have the option of getting just the Affleck statue, 1/3 scale, or you can get the set, Affleck and Bruce Wayne. Now, they've done this in the past with the Christopher Reeve Superman, where you get Christopher Reeve as Superman or Clark Kent like as a combo package. And that set, those figures alone are stunning to look at. Like, JND has seriously upped their game in the hyper-realistic department. The fact that they use silicone for the faces, hand punch hair, which they do the same thing this time around with this Affleck set. So here we go. We are on the JND Studios website. We're going to start off with Batman. And yes, it says JL, Justice League Batman, but it's clearly the Batman v Superman Batsuit. Right off the bat, ha ha ha. This is one of the best looking interpretations of Ben Affleck's Batman I have seen. I've owned the half scale Prime 1 Studios Affleck statue, and that thing is a beast. I do miss it, but I feel like this one has gone an extra step above and beyond. Yes, it's pretty much the same pose as the Prime 1 Studios Affleck statue. I think it's actually swapped from the other side in terms of which foot is out in front of the other. But damn, man, the proportions look incredible. The head sculpt, the cowl, even the pleats on the cape. And you can zoom in there. This is a very strange way they've designed it. You can't click on the photos and blow them up. You have to hover over them. But let's start with the head sculpt, man. That just looks incredible. That is Affleck through and through. And I know recently we've had the new version 2 of the Hot Toys figure, the 1/6 scale figure. And, you know, it's nice, but I feel like it makes Affleck look a bit chubby cheruby in the cowl, whereas this, he looks like Ben Affleck in the cowl and like when he was in shape for Batman v Superman and leaner and like a mean looking Batman. I think if anything, maybe just a bit more stubble. Tiniest bit more stubble, maybe some gray whiskers thrown in there, because this is silicone as far as I know. The eye plate, the mouth plate, it's silicone. Moving down here, the proportions look amazing on the muscle structure. I don't know if that is actual textured fabric glued down. The texture on the emblem looks spot on. The texture on the emblem on a lot of Affleck figures that I've seen, it's usually always off. It's usually just parallel lines, whereas this has a very distinct texture. Heading down to the belt. For the most part, the belt looks great. The only thing, and this is like so nitpicky because I've built Affleck belts and I've studied this suit and, you know, I'm kind of, you know, scarishly obsessed with it. The pouches after the first one on either side of the cylinders and the buckle kind of step up a little bit and taper up, whereas these all look flat and kind of parallel with one another, which isn't a big deal. And that was the same with the Prime 1 Studios belt, which I did a custom video on of how to customize it, make it look more accurate, and it definitely makes the figure look a whole lot accurate on a whole. Moving down, and I just like that it's a simple kind of rock formation base. Look at the cape, they got the weathering, the boots look great. So let's hit another pose. Let's get a close up here. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Look at that, man. That just... Oh. I even like... I don't know if you guys can see. I like how you can tell it's like black eye makeup on. You can sort of see Affleck's skin color somewhat bleeding through the Black Panda eyes, which is fine by me, which is cool. All the wrinkles of the textured fabric. I'm pretty sure that is textured fabric. The gauntlets look great. Subtle dusted weathering. The knuckles, the fins. Let's see what else they got here. Let's go to a side pose. Yeah, that looks good. Hell yeah, man. Yep. That's a beautiful profile. Love it. Love it. Cape looks great. Love the weathering on the cape. It looks heavy duty. Beautiful. So let's take a look at the price. So this is in USD. It says awaiting sales. I'm pretty sure these drop in a couple of hours time this afternoon. So the price, $2,199 USD, which equates to $3,354. But keep in mind, you have the option of a payment plan, which I'm all for, which is great, which usually brings things up a couple of notches in terms of heading towards a yay other than a nay, like with the life-size Michael Myers bust this morning. So if you do go with that option, today you'd have to do a deposit, non-refundable, 440 USD, and then second month right up to the 8th month, you do 220 USD. And ready to ship balance and shipping, 219 plus the shipping. So you still have to calculate shipping wherever you are in the world. Now, does it have a quantity? So in terms of edition size, from what I can see with the Affleck and the Bruce Wayne combo, I think it's 599. That's the number I'm seeing floating around. But in terms of the Affleck one, the height is 72 centimeters. So this dude's big. Like 1/3 is pretty damn impressive. So you got one head, resin / silicon eyes, mouth parts, glass eyes, belt, resin, cloak, fabric, base resin. So mixed media at its finest. Now, does it say body gloves? Okay, one body gloves boots says it's resin, so it doesn't look like it's textured fabric. But if we head on over to the Batman and Bruce Wayne duel, we take a look at this Ben Affleck head sculpt. And again, this looks exactly how he looks at the end of Batman v Superman at Superman's funeral. And I think this by far is the best looking Ben Affleck head sculpt I have seen in a long, long time, let alone ever. And I know that's a tall statement, but I really think this captures Affleck's likeness as Bruce Wayne. Maybe, if anything, just a bit more of a tan, because he was somewhat a bit tanned in BVS. And maybe just a bit more scruff, a bit more stubble, but the likeness is definitely there. The tailoring on the suit looks absolutely beautiful. And I like as well, it's just a rock formation base, nice and simple. Maybe because it's Bruce Wayne, you could have had a nice like polished marble floor or something like that, just to differentiate him from being the Batman. And coming down here, so you do have a payment plan. Now this is with the combo 3,699 USD. So that equates to in AUD $5,641. Now, like I said, there is a payment plan. Today you'd have to do a deposit of 740 USD, and from the second month up to the 8th month, 370 USD. And ready to ship balance and shipping 369, and plus shipping wherever that's calculated, wherever you are in the world. But just going back to the head sculpt, hang on, let me click on this guy here. Look at that, man. That looks stunning. Just the likeness is so on point. The fact that it's got punched hair into the silicon, everything. It looks incredible. Like, even look at the tie and the tie bar, man. That looks great. Like, I know you're dealing with a bigger scale, so it's easier to tailor these types of things as opposed to like 1/6 scale. But damn, man, that looks brilliant. One head, silicon head with rooted hair and glass eyes. It's amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 599 in terms of how many they're going to be offering with this dual package. All right, guys. So with that being said, given the price of the individual Batman statue, but then if you get the combo of Batman and Bruce Wayne, it's pretty hefty. It's very expensive. And these aren't due to ship out until 2027. Like, it's a long way off. Given the fact that you can do a payment plan, that's always a bit of a, ups the ante a bit in terms of going towards a yay. And the fact that it's so far off, it'll get to the point where you won't even sweat about it. It'll be paid off and then you just have to wait. Given that, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, I think this is the most accurate looking Affleck and Bruce Wayne figures / statues I've seen, bar none. And I've had the Prime 1 Studios half-scale Affleck. Beautiful. I think at that time for me, that was the most accurate looking Affleck, but this just goes above and beyond, especially with certain proportions of the muscle structure, the face sculpt as well. It definitely captures that Affleck likeness in the cowl from majority all the angles from what I can see. And then with the Bruce Wayne sculpt, looks very akin to the end of BVS, even though it says Justice League, but I'm glad they went the route of the BVS suit. So for both guys, considering you can do a payment plan and it's so far off, so it gives you time to pay these pieces off, it's a massive yay for me. These look incredible. I am actually tempted to hang around this afternoon to try and nab the Affleck statue. I miss my Prime 1 Studios statue. I actually had to sell it to help pay for my screen use Robin suit years ago. And I figured I'd always try and find another one. And I think this opportunity now has presented itself and I would like to try and nab one. Again, if there was no payment plan, I'd have to say, nah, I just, there's no way in hell I'd have that money up front. And if you do, hell yeah, can I have a loan? So guys, with that being said, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on the JND Studios 1/3 scale Affleck statue and the combo Affleck and Bruce Wayne statues. You're going to be picking them up. And what are your thoughts in terms of comparisons to the Prime 1 statue? We've had other Prime 1 statues like the Suicide Squad one where he's got the rebreather on, and even Hot Toys figures. Like I said, the recent 2.0 figure, it's nice. I just don't think it truly captures Affleck's likeness in the cowl. This, and now that this thing's come along, to me, it's just blown those out of the water. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.